And the best part is, as far as we can tell, fixing most of these motherboards should be an easy path to savings. You did not tell me that today was going to be this challenging. Let's go! And the top snapped off. Just like this easy segue to our sponsor. Having 8 working LGA 1700 motherboards is an unbelievable bargain.
Yep.
Just like this bargain segue.
Yeah, it was a pretty bad one, yeah.
To our sponsor. And there's gonna be so much more.
Really?
Look at how we patched together this segue to our sponsor. Get it patched?
Used this setup for a week or two until I had the chance to grab had to replace the carrots once.
Excuse me, my carrots are old. They've gone moldy.
That is such a stupid way to do that. Poor. Just like this poor segue to our sponsor. I gotta say, I'm proud of them for getting it across the finish line. The only question is, in a world where not even Apple can get people excited about VR, does anyone still care? I know what they do care about. Our sponsor.
And if your biggest obstacle to improving your health at home is a lack of fun, well, this could be a great solution. Did your normie treadmill come with the VR headset? I didn't think so. It probably didn't even come with a Segue to our sponsor.
So instead of risking it, let us indulge your intrusive thoughts. Like, what would happen if you used your monitor in the Arctic? Can liquid crystals freeze? We're about to try all of this and more, but my friends, heed this warning. Do not try this at home. Instead, try this segue to our sponsor. We had to get like right in there. Yeah. They're pretty resilient.
So if you ever want to bring your laptop to your next CAT scan, you can totally do that. Tell the doctors that we said it was okay. Do you know what else is okay? A segue to our sponsor.
Wait, that doesn't seem that hard.
Well, there's a catch. We need the highest possible performance, but we can't go over budget, and we're not allowed to check the internet for pricing.
Oh, well, that is a lot harder. Then I guess the pressure's on to tell you about our sponsor.
Tell me how it feels to win.
Well, David, it feels great.
You know, we played a good game, we played a hard game. The other guys, they're out there, you know, they're giving their all every single night. And we're out there, you know, and sometimes you gotta take the win, do the good with the bad.
Gotta just, you know, give it 110%.
Yeah.
Just like I'm gonna give you 110% for the segue to our sponsor.
How about this one, 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 and this one? Well, I mean, they're not here yet. But while we wait, how about we do this segue to our sponsor? Picking ones where the seller clearly lays out what's wrong with them, so you can claim something back if the issue is something else, and try to get chips with as few bent pins as possible so you're not wasting a ton of time before you can get right to this segue to our sponsor to see if they could navigate Microsoft's most iconic Windows ever. There's lots more where that came from, but before we get to it, there's one more thing that came out in 2001. This segue. Well, not this one exactly, one like it. Whoa! Does this thing even work?
Not even a little.
We're still gonna get to our sponsor though, as we saw in our music ripping and our disc burning challenges. So XP, you know what? You stood up to the test of time, even if your usability could have been a little better. Just like this segue could have been a little better. To our sponsor.
This one's wholesome.
I love the just like making it work. Like this dude's mousepad is just like some picture from something.
These people look like they could work here.
Yeah.
This looks like a fun time, and even just the idea of like the last LAN party before having a kid.
I love it.
I'm a big fan of this.
Wholesome. Just like this wholesome segue to our sponsor. So if you're like me, you may not love karaoke, but you may love rabbit holes. So grab a shovel and a mining helmet and start digging with me. But before we go, it's time for the segue to our sponsor.
It's all one compact, easy to use system. It's pretty appealing.
If I was moving around or I was like street busking, look at this, it's got the little like strap thing on it.
Yeah, comes with the strap too.
Regardless of which setup works best for you, we hope you guys learned something today. Like this message from our sponsor. Starting off with this.
Do you want to guess the price?
I'm gonna say $4,000.
It was $10,000.
10 grand?
Yes.
I mean, it feels pretty nice, but
yeah.
Is that Canadian dollars or US?
That's real dollars, freedom dollars.
At that price, it better keep you guys from hearing this.
Because I don't think it's actually a bad product.
No, yeah, it seems crazy.
Alex actually wanted it. He was considering buying it before we did it for this video, so he's asking if it can go in the Christmas party pile.
Sure.
Okay.
Did we buy it?
Yes.
Fine. Just like this fine segue to our sponsor. The good news is that your power bill is going to go down, but in many cases, so will your performance. So strap in for a very bumpy ride with me as I try to navigate what on earth is going on with CPUs in 2024. But first, a short layover to visit my Aunt Segue, to our sponsor. It's really hard for me to find a reason to buy these. If you do want to pick one up, we'll have it and all the CPUs that we tested linked in the description down below. As always, I'm your host, Linus Sebastian, and this is a segue to today's sponsor. We might get very different computers, but we're still interested in identifying any trends, tips, and tricks that we can see that might help you get the most out of your next build, or even your current one. We're also interested in identifying our sponsor. Either way, it's pretty clear that you should not lock yourself into the newest releases. PC hardware is not evolving at the same pace that it once was, and you just don't need the latest gear to have an excellent experience. What you do need is this segue to our sponsor. Enjoy the results firsthand. We didn't tell them we were doing this. I say enjoy because I got a sneak peek, and it's not all sunshine and rainbows. Unlike this segue to our sponsor. This is a star.
When you go from getting 500 support inquiries in a month to 15,000 support inquiries in a month, literally from July to August, yeah, it's hard.
Hard.
It's hard.
Like this hard segue to our sponsor. This kind of thriftiness can save you hundreds of dollars over time. So I'll tell you what, Elijah, you come up with some fancy feature your new case has, and I'm gonna make it happen on this one at a fraction of the price.
Deal, but only if I can tell them about our sponsor. And while Linus isn't here to share in our glory of it working, we did have fun along the way. I got to learn how to use some power tools, and maybe touching our tools is actually more fun than, touching grass. Did he script that? He really scripted that, okay. And it's almost as much fun as our sponsor.
That's like actually criminal.
It's clean, but it lacks Riz.
You're like the head of Creator Warehouse. Cable manage.
All right, well, sit back, relax, and enjoy watching me get burned. And watch me burn this segue to our sponsor. Ah! All right, you guys got us pretty good, but I will say, you forgot to give the people something very important. This segue to our sponsor. It's kind of complicated, or well, really complicated. The good news is we did the complicated part for you, and when you're done watching this 11.5-minute video, you will be equipped with some very practical tips that will save you money. And you'll also be equipped with this message from our sponsor, admitting he was wrong about the PS5 Pro's lack of a disk drive. He said he didn't think it was that big of a deal. He wrote this video and then immediately went out and bought a disk drive for his. I look forward to watching that. And I look forward to telling you guys about our sponsor.